Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Pax Britannica as Britain. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, Imperial Accommodation Crisis, picking up the pieces. I mean, at some point we should be having our election. I just don't know when it's actually going to be. Will the Prime Minister acknowledge the fact that his policy on economic isolation and his ignorance of British resilience on German demand has caused this crisis? Cried Major Clement Attlee, leader of the opposition. Prime Minister Douglas Haig just sat his point on his bench. Attlee was a fine soldier and would make a fine Tory, yet he has given in to the whims and wishes of socialists, calling themselves the masses. How can they not see that his policy of economic imperialist isolation kept Britain from suffering during the last 20 years? How could they bypass this mere fact? To make matters worse, Haig heard a murmur of support from the other side of the House of Commons, which deeply troubled him. Haig, although old, knew that he would not abandon sacred duty ministership, so he rose and spoke. As long as the people of this great nation have faith in a national coalition, they shall know that we will fix the slight economic ripple like we did last time under this government. Haig knew that the national coalition was the only way to keep Britain safe, and he intended to keep it that way. And Ireland's also having a little bit of a crisis of their own, but I trust Ireland to not... Okay, apparently the coalition has immediately collapsed. Good work. Excellent work, everybody. Haig sat with his aide and advisor Edmund Blackadder, and more importantly, trusted friends at the time in the military. Haig knew what was coming. Only Blackadder and had the guts to tell him the bad news due to his extensive friendship with the former Field Marshal. Douglas is mourning more than enough of the Whigs and the National Coalition to refuse to pledge his support for our parties, combined efforts to make the National Coalition defunct. Haig sat there dumbfounded. They dare betray in Britain's hour of need? Haig grasped his last breath where a sudden pang of pain formed inside his heart. Haig remembered last time this occurred when he had heard the casualties of the Iberian campaign, a scar that had not yet healed. Are you alright, Douglas? Blackadder asked with concern. Haig nodded and grasped the table for support, for looking at his trusted friend, and murmured, "Oh, for God's sake." So who's in our coalition now? We got the Haig Tories and the Progressive Tories. And that's it. Do we at least have, we got, what is that, 44%? No, that is 41%. I can't do math. Overall, though, that's not so bad. I mean, we're still the #1 party in Parliament. I'll take it. I'll take that. What do we want to get for our next technology? We could go for... I mean, it looks like we already have the tech for the enhanced humans. We got the Razor Maidens and the Hard Suits, so I guess we'll probably just stick with that and not worry about the Weird Dogs nor the Jet Troopers, at least not for now. Aircraft. We would not... You know what? 1933 fighters? Sounds good to me. General election has begun. Due to the collapse of the National Coalition, the King has ordered, with the advice of his Prime Minister Anthony Eden, who succeeded his predecessor Douglas Haig over the latter's health complications, that a snap general election shall occur. Paperboy was selling well due to the sudden news of both Haig's deteriorating in health and Eden's first act to call a snap election to test the British public support in his new role as Prime Minister. Paperboy looked around after a brief respite of shouting and selling to see Latin bustle with activity. Posters were up for the WP in the circus, while MPP black shirts tore them down and replaced them with their own propaganda. Conservative speakers spoke at the corner and occasionally fought with the crowd over political beliefs, much to the boys' amusement. However, the Paperboy also noted the tense atmosphere of the crowd. Whatever the results, the Paperboy knew that this election was going to decide the fate of Britain for the years to come, for better or for worse. We're still negative 144 political power. But I don't need political power. Political power is for dorks. And we're not dorks. We're cool friends. Are we missing? What are we missing for our units? We need a shit ton of guns. Okay, so I guess we'll focus on that first. We are making a lot of aircraft, but honestly, that makes sense. Planes are good. Happy with planes. Okay, so we got wars breaking out right now. Russia has invaded Mongolia. You are at war with the Free Territory. And there's also a war going on in Arabia as well. And who are you? We got Syria. They're at war with the Revolutionary Organization. I don't know if we really care too much. Russia just declared war on, like, the Fenian clique. Russia's being very, very aggressive. Okay. And they don't even have a focus tree. So who knows what's even driving this aggressiveness. So general election in Scotland. Scotland being the least populated in Britain, whereas, apart from Wales, which is associated with Northern England, Britain is normally first to declare the results of the general election. Scotland is a major battleground state between all parties of general election. Expect that the Tories will lose the majority in Scotland due to the effects of the Great Slump, and another party will seize the Tory majority. But you know what? The Tories have maintained their majority. So again, we're going to be going down the conservative route. I think conservative is probably the least played ideology we do in Hoi 4. Between, you know, like Kaiserreich and stuff, we typically either go like far left or far right, and sometimes we do some stuff as you know, the conservatives or liberals, but not often. I feel like that it's got to be our least played. Can anybody go? I don't think anybody will. But anybody should go back and watch every single Kaiserreich series that we've ever done, and do the and do the math and see what ideology we play the most, which one we play the least. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Anyway, election in Northern England. We will keep our oath to the Tories. It's going to be a clean sweep. There's no way in hell the Tories can lose this one. We got negative 120. Dance expansion. Oh, we can just declare. We can get a little war ourselves. Well. We do have territory down here. We go to war with Yemen. We can also go to war with the Mashriq, which is you. Are you my puppet? You are my puppet. I'm going to take all of Egypt's forces. You are going to be my expeditionary force. We're going to send you over to Yemen. Put you on the border here. Fantastic. And then after that, we'll probably send you around to go deal with not Morocco, with the rock over here. And the winner is, the winner should be the Tories, yes. And then Eden, the Prime Minister, succeeded Haig and called the snap election and strolled into the Carlton Club, the informal house of the Tory party. Eden was pleased to see the grins of his fellow MPs, and many of them knew due to the resounding success in his victory. Even the Tory faction, the Progressives and Paternals, stood side and side, cheering for him to a seat in the head of the table, all anticipating his speech on the Tory victory. His victory. As he approached the chair, he stood graciously and began speaking. Honored friends, many of you called me a mad gambler when I called this general election. The room chuckled at his remark. They knew he was giving them a slap on the hand that they deserved. They called him out for his rash action for calling the election. Eden continued. But now I stand here as elected Prime Minister with all my winnings intact, with many more in my pot. With that, I plan to reward the public's faith in us by building them a better Britain for a better people. His speech was short and snappy. The room applauded and stood in triumph at Antony's victory. But deep inside, Antony held fears for failing his countrymen, more importantly, his party. So we've lost. So we have what now? Now we've got a solid majority. That is a 59%. That's pretty good. 59%. Very happy with it. Okay. Tories have resisted the crisis and maintained their electoral mandate, which now leaves the question of who will lead the new government. Anthony Eden, favored underling of Douglas Haig, and tapped by the party's head of administration. Eden is an inoffensive figure and is seen as easily controlled by the hardliners, but some of the progressives see him as their ticket to undoing the damages of Haig ministries. So we can either go for the... Who are two parties? We've got the radicals, which are the anarcho-liberals, or just the regular conservatives. Well, I think we just go for the Haig Tories. I'm assuming that you are the Haig Tories. You got 3% of the electorate. But you know what? Yeah, just let's go just for an independent pass with the progressives. We have a 100% support. The NPP is neutral. The Whigs are neutral. Honestly, that seems pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with those election results. And a launch of Epsilon 1. We've reached some we received some interesting news from Carginia, where a think tank funded by the EICEC and Carnegie Skill were able to launch a small rocket containing a similarly small radio-operated drone. While the launch itself was only a minor success, researchers have proved the potential for launching a functional satellite into orbit. Furthermore, it may very well mean the potential of launching a living human into orbit become clear to both ourselves and our rivals, the continent that this technology cannot be allowed to go to waste. Britain's early frontiers came in Africa and the Americas, and we ensured that we will secure ourselves in those regions. Now, however, we have now scrambled on our hands. Union Jack will be the first standard to touch the stars, no matter how much blood, sweat, or tears are needed. Okay, so we've launched a basically Sputnik, and it's 33, definitely ahead of the time here. We got the automation crisis. Assess the damage, take stock of our assets. Imperial Parade is fully independent, and we have a military government. We shouldn't have to declare ourselves a military government, I'm guessing. Let's start with London Call, and then we'll deal with the automation crisis afterwards. We've got our units preparing to go into Yemen. And we'll just declare war, right? Orbit Wars. With the launch of Epsilon 1 in New Alexandria, the viability of a rocket-propelled craft breaching the atmosphere and entering orbit has been proven possible, at least on paper. While launch itself failed, the limited success has proven the potential for such enterprises. So it's us and Russia against for launching a satellite. Hide all components, activate. Can I do anything here yet? View engine parts. You require us to have any science, which we don't have any. You have 0 plus 10. Is that good? Let's do a basic engine test. So, you know, let's try to do, I guess we can only really do the most basic stuff. Yeah, and then we'll initiate the launch. We have 14 days to see how this goes. There's a 30% chance that it fucks up, but that's okay. It's not too bad. Launch us into space, as well as invading Yemen. What do you need for all of these? Imperial Britain's at war with France. Subject of you guys. Like, what are requirements here? At peace? We can't do both at the same time. Marshall's already died? Incredible. It was raging that late morning, and Douglas Haig had still not left his bedroom. While there wasn't a strict nor assertive policy under the Haig household, the man responsible for the morning duty has thought it was best to not awake the Marshal from his seemingly deep slumber. Around early noon, a loud thud had echoed in the Haig's bedroom. The rush, the maid went to investigate the sound and was horrified to see the Marshal half dead, lying in a pool of his own urine. Immediately, she let out a scream of horror. A few hours later, after a medical examination was declared, the Haig had passed away because of a heart attack. Apparently, Douglas Haig suffered a Stalin. Okay, National Recovery Act. Got sport weapons as well. What do we want next? I mean, it's April 33. So seeing just any technologies, research speed, absolutely, we can get that going. And with the government, with the majority in Parliament, has passed the National Recovery Act to Britain's relief. The act ensues that the British government would allocate a large number of funds to public employment schemes, whilst also implementing tax reforms and new trade policies to ease the burden created by the Great Slump, which will guarantee. Yeah, I feel like that's not. The act ensues that the British government would allocate a large number of funds to public employment schemes, while also implementing tax reform and a new trade policy to ease the burden created by the Great Slump, which will guarantee. This is but the first major act implemented by the new government to handle the crisis, and certainly not the last to deal with the depression caused by the slump. Hey, 150 political power. We're actually in the positive now. You love to see it. So you have 21 days here. Well, I might as well just send you here next. How long will this take for us to declare war? 25 days? We should get there within 25 days. I can't imagine we don't. 3 units? I think 3 troops will be enough. Also, Ireland, the Irish Autonomous Province has declared war on the Irish Citizens Army. So the Irish Republic has risen up. We got the Ulster Self-Defense. We've got you. Can I join your wars? They will say yes. Okay. We need to immediately send Red Army. You need to go to Ireland ASAP. I need to join your war. Are you still my puppet? You are. Yeah, send our troops to Dublin immediately. Get them the hell over there. Does this mean that these got canceled? No, they're still well on their way. Fantastic. I'm gonna deny. You guys already are having your tax planned, right? You guys actually even have any units? I don't think you do. So our war should go pretty smoothly. Okay, so we failed our test. But I'm assuming that's going to give us some science. Yes, we now have 10. So even though we failed, we get a little bit more, So I just install all of this stuff again. And then just launch it again. Like, just initiate 35% chance to fail. Honestly, okay, 35 is not that. It's not that bad. I mean, I'll admit it's not the greatest. But 35 is not a horrible number. Also, I guess we should be sending our entire Air Force over Ireland to bomb the ever-living shit out of it. Yeah, all of you will support you guys. And yeah, you just go into Ireland, man. You really shouldn't have any major problems here. Yeah, all of you support you. You are naval bombers. You just do whatever you want, man. That doesn't really matter so much. Okay, so our forces will be moving away into Yemen. I genuinely don't think they have an actual army, so this should be a pretty, should be a piece of cake. And we're now at war with you. That's fine. Our units will move in. Hey, we got a successful launch, boys. Let's fucking go. And you just be as aggressive as possible. I see no reason not to. And our other aircraft, like we have aircraft kind of over the entirety of the Empire. Okay, we got a Tory victory. Party of General Haig has Ronald Cross active. Everybody calm down. We gain stability. Look out for the progressives. But the thing is, like, right now, we have 25 research points, by the way. You love to see it. The thing is, like, right now, even the Union, even, like, basically the Labour Party supports us right now. Everybody loves us, man. We're a very, very popular government. So let's assess the damages from the automation crisis. I think that seems like a good place to start. And you guys should be dead pretty soon. Ireland, you don't need to join my war. Like, I appreciate the thought. It's not necessary. Oh, no, they did have an army. Not a large one. I think as soon as we take Sansa, that should be the end of it. Okay, so we have won our war in Ireland. The Red Army will just return back to London for the time being. And resolving the Irish question. The Irish Citizen Army has been defeated, which leaves the question of Ireland's future within the British Empire. The Irish autonomous provinces were originally established to prevent these kind of uprisings, but it seems the Irish rebellion is an inevitable issue regardless. There has been some proposal on how we can resolve the situation. The first and most obvious is a simple reinstate the autonomous government. It'll be with slightly more oversight for British forces already deployed in the region. The Ulster Free State will be reintegrated into the Irish Autonomous Republic as well. Alternatively, it has been proposed that Ulster be integrated with the United Kingdom instead. Sectarian conflicts in the region might be better controlled under the direct British administration. The most extreme proposal from the Imperial hardliners is for Ireland to be re-annexed into the UK entirely, a move that would likely inflame Anglo-Irish tensions even further. So 25, negative 50. I think we're going to integrate Ulster. We even get 3 free divisions. You'd love to see it. Unknown tribes in Brazil. That's fine. And we've won our war in Yemen. You'd love to see it. These units will now deploy themselves over to Iraq. I mean, their units are not good. Can't get into Baghdad. Baghdad is controlled by Syria, and they're currently in the middle of a revolution, so we'll kind of see how that goes. You know what? 34. I can take a 34 tech. Also, you need even more, more guns, please and thank you. They keep bombing my infrastructure. Kind of just everywhere, honestly, which I think is very, very rude. They have no points to do anything here. Can I do anything with the Nicaragua Canal? Got a 50-50. Honestly, I don't want to, I don't want to risk it. I'm assuming the Nicaragua Canal is going to give us a nice little bonus. So if I can avoid inflaming tensions there too much, I'd be happy. Honestly, we don't need to worry about any of this. The fact that all of them actually are fans, I'm happy with. Okay, hide all components for a second. You have 35 points. You are 50. Which we cannot do quite yet, but that's okay. We will launch another satellite. Apparently it takes 4 civilian factories. That probably would have been good to know before, but it's fine. We're still down 13,000 rifles. I mean, compliance is pretty high across the Empire, which is nice. I don't know if this is your only victory point. It is! Hey, look at us go. Okay, Egypt, you can have your units back. I don't need them right now. Probably some point in the future we will return, but for the time being, they can be yours. How's everybody else doing? So we got, you know, basically the United States on our side. I know nobody over here actually has any focus trees. It's really just me, France, and Germany. So most of the world we don't need to worry about, I think, too much. Taking stock of the damages. After the extensive audit, it became clear that the autonomous crisis has been heavily impacted the British economy. The EIEC shut down the mines across southern England and Wales, has caused a significant spike in unemployment, leading to protests and demands for actions against the company. Exasperating matters is the general economic malaise the country has been experiencing for the last decade, as the shock of the coal shutdowns has been causing an overall reduction in consumer spending. While not a full-blown recession, it certainly means that our state economy has degraded significantly from just a few years ago. Okay, so let's take stock of our assets. And I think with the launch of satellite, the election of the UK, and the putting down the Irish revolt, this will be a good time for us to end this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, run a thumbs up. If you not enjoy, you can always thumb down. And for now, have a great day and goodbye.